Yikes. All right. Did everybody get the worksheet that I asked to be downloaded?
No.
No? Okay. I'm going to just, hang on. Sorry. I'm hiding in my bedroom because my kids and my husband are downstairs and they are making a ton of noise and it is making me crazy. So if you go to, hang on, I'll show you the link here, Esther.
Okay.
daretolead.brenebrown.com. Can you see that?
Yes.
And then you go to the downloads. You're looking for the values worksheet. So I don't know. I'm going to copy the link to this and put it in the chat as well. So let's see if I can do that. Okay.
Well, I got it off the link that you sent in the Zoom thing.
Yeah, exactly. So but I don't know if Esther saw that or not. That's what I mean.
Actually, I did.
Oh, I see.
I did
Okay.
see that.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, so I will still put it in once I figure out how to do that, because I think I have to stop sharing in order to, there we go. And then hang on, what's going on? Stop it. There we go. Chat. And here's the link. So you don't have to have this printed or anything, just have it in front of you.
Okay.
For this, okay? So if you can pull it up, if you have two devices going or anything like that, then that would be great, because it's just going to give us an opportunity to talk about what I want to talk about today. Okay, yay, hi Steph. All right, so this is not Steph because I was bugging her about this in our coaching call last week and then in our call today, and she was like, okay, yeah, I meant to do it, but I haven't done it yet. So I thought, you know what, we're going to do this together. So
I did do it though today.
You did do it. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about today comes from this book called Dare to Lead. Brene Brown is absolutely 100% my absolute favorite business coach person, life coach person, everything. In fact, I had so many copies of The Gifts of Imperfection that I gave away that I stopped buying it because I just kept giving it away and never ended up owning it. I bought it for my Kindle and Audible and then stopped giving it away because you can't give it away from there. So this is the book. This is the book. This one and Gifts of Imperfection. Now there's a few other books from Brene Brown, but if you're going to read any, and right now, isn't it the perfect time to be reading stuff and learning stuff? Right? Fair? So Dare to Lead. What I want to talk to you today is less about quarantine and COVID and more about how we're going to build your personal brand, especially through social media. Now, how many of you can, just with a raise of hands, and I don't know if you can see, but there is a little button called reactions. So you can go like this, thumbs up, or you can clap. It's pretty cool. So I want you to show me a reaction for if you feel like you're pretty solid about what your personal brand is. And if you have no idea what a personal brand is, give me one of these. You can either give it on the screen or just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Is it bad? Anybody is like, Carol, I already know this. I don't need you. No? Good. Okay, that's better. That's the best. Because I hate teaching stuff that everybody's like, seriously, we already know this.
We got this.
If you were a stranger to me and you were to look through my personal Facebook and my business Instagram and all of that stuff, do you think you would have a pretty good sense of who I am as a person? If you think that that's true, go like this. It's okay if it's not. But do you think if you didn't know me and you just looked through my social media that you would have a pretty good sense of my personal values, like what I hold dear, what's important to me, things like that? Yes? How many of you have ever gone to somebody's Facebook and like a stranger or somebody who's new that's just friended you and you're like, who is this person? And so you accept a friend request because you've got mutual friends, and then you scroll through and you're like, I still have no idea who you are. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah.
Or it's nothing but shares. Share, 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 share. Here's a recipe, share, share. And you're just like, but there's nothing about yourself in here at all. And the mistake that we make, especially when we're marketing ourselves through business, is that we only talk about business and we copy what other people are doing. So if that seems like a really great post, then we'll just copy that. What's the issue with that, you guys? There's two issues, really.
Well, your
When you-
own voice doesn't come through.
Your own voice doesn't come through. What else?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing is personal. Nothing is personal.
Nothing's personal.
No,
And there's
they
one
don't
more.
become real. They're not real people.
When
You can't
Facebook
relate to
sees the
them.
same post by 12 different people, what does it do? Do you know this? It flags it. It doesn't show it anymore. It doesn't mark it as spam or anything. You can still see it on your profile. You still think it's reaching people, but it isn't. Okay.
Interesting.
So there's the issue with that, is that it's going to flag that algorithm and it's going to just sound like someone else. Have you ever been around somebody fake or somebody that you know is pretending to be somebody that they're not, or maybe isn't really clear on who they are? Do you get a sense inside of your belly of that sense of jarringness, that sense of a lack of authenticity from somebody? And you're not quite sure why. Sometimes we can't even name it. That instinctual feeling inside of our bellies that says, this person isn't real, or this person doesn't know who they are. Has that ever happened to you?
Mhm.
Where you're around somebody and you're just like, I really have no sense of your values, or at the very least, I think you don't have a clue on who you are either. And something about you is jarring. Like, it just feels like a square peg in a round hole. You just sort of feel uncomfortable around them and you don't really know why. And do you want your customers to feel like that around you?
No.
No. And how often do you think that happens? A lot. You know why? Because you're using scripts, which are great. Don't get me wrong. I love me a script. You know, I was a drama teacher for a very long time, so I do love a script. But here's what I know, is that the way you say a script matters. And in fact, when I taught drama, we used to do something like, where is my phone? And have somebody say it in 18 different ways. You could be like, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Right? Where is my phone? There's 1,000 ways to say it. And yet what you're doing is you're reading it, not you necessarily, but you're reading it like robot voice, or you're reading it the way that you think Carol Thompson would read it, or Esther, or Desiree, or anybody. We're reading it that way, aren't we? And we're acting that way. And while you wanna, if you're gonna copy anybody, copy the right cat, it's very important that you know, first of all, what are your core values and what is your brand? We all have a lot of values, and I'm not talking about morality and Christian values and things like that, okay? I'm really not. And if you take a look at that list, I'm just going to pull it up. If you take a look at the list, then what you're going to see is that it's not about, you know, yeah, okay, I value not killing people. Cool. That's not what we're talking about here. So can you see that, or is it too small? Is that okay? Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So can you see there's a lot of values on here? Now, how many of you could say you probably don't disagree with any of these values? Like, you're probably not looking at this like, who values truth? Weirdos, right? These are all good things to value. And most of us would value pretty much all of them. But here's what we're going to do is you're going to pick 5 out of all of this. So if you have this printed, or if you have it on your phone or anything else and you can mark it up, that's the best way. So, you know, if you have it in the gallery on your phone, you can use your finger and just mark it up, or write down the ones that stick out to you as you go down this list. But I just want you to take a minute and go down this list and circle everything that you think is a value that is important to you personally, a very important value. So pretend that you're picking maybe 20 out of this whole thing. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly 20, those C personalities in the group. Don't worry. I don't care if it's 20. I don't care if it's 22. I don't care if it's 17. I don't care if it's 4. Just pick some. Circle them. Circle anything, or write them down if you can't. If you can't circle on it. And just pick a bunch of these that are really important to you. Now, I will zoom out a little bit on here so that you can see the whole list, just in case. And if there is something that isn't on the list, you can write your own in there. the list was in my book, and I told Scott to get my book, and then I'm going to make him bring it up to me.
There we go.
Okay, so you're writing, if you're just joining us, you're just writing down as many of these that you feel are really, really important to you. And then once you have that, you're going to start narrowing it down so that you can get to 5. So if you're just joining us, what we're doing is we're looking at these values that are on this list of values from Brene Brown's Dare to Lead. And you're picking as many of these as you want right now, but your goal here is to narrow this down to 5 core values that you feel are so important. And you can look at this from a business perspective, because that's what we're talking about. Maybe not personally, but from your business, why are these things more important to you? So like, here's mine all messy and crazy. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like, it's all insane when I did this work thing, okay? And don't forget, you're gonna love a lot of these, and it's okay. If any stick out to you and you're like, that is the ultimate most important one, put a big star beside it. And then if you're trying to decide, do it like a cage match, or like March Madness. Do it like, all right, do I value optimism more or patience more? Which one? And it doesn't matter, you can pick any two, because here's the thing, if you value anything over the other one, then it's obviously not on the list. Where are you guys at? How many of you have your like core group circled? Like your first 20-ish? Yeah?
Still working on it.
Okay, anybody want to share any of theirs? Just unmute yourself and yell out some of the ones that are important to you. And don't
I'm
forget, those words matter too. Go ahead, sorry.
That's okay. I'm working backwards because I started at the top and now I'm at the bottom. So self-discipline, success, truth, patience, pride, legacy, knowledge, leadership. Oh, I've got too many. It goes on.
Okay, which one out of those is the one that sticks out the most to you out of that list? And don't forget, you guys, this has to be about something you think is important for you. It's got to give you those little goosebumpy feelings.
Legacy.
Legacy. I love that. Who else? Anybody else want to share theirs?
I'll share mine.
Mm-hmm.
I have career, caring, confidence, ethics, faith, family, hope, honesty, integrity, joy, job security, love, loyalty, parenting, respect, self-discipline, self-respect, usefulness, wealth, personal fulfillment, and success.
All right. Which one of those words was the most important to you that you said? Which one gave you a little tingle when you said it?
I've circled 6 that are important to me.
Good. Go ahead. Which one are those?
Faith, family, loyalty, self-discipline, self-respect, and personal fulfillment.
Awesome. Okay. So when you're getting down to the nitty gritty here and we're going down that list, you guys, what you want to think about too is fill in this sentence. I would not follow a leader if they didn't have or if they weren't, if their value wasn't this, I wouldn't follow them. Because everyone like follows leaders for different reasons, right?
I think
If they weren't Carol Thompson.
Yeah. Adele, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, my 2 would be authenticity and honesty.
I love that. So you would not follow a leader who you didn't feel was authentic and honest.
Right.
Would that be true?
Yes, absolutely.
Good. The other way you can look at this too is what irritates you the most out of other people? What value do they not have that irritates you the most?
Honesty and authenticity. If they seem phony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. That's really good. Anybody else relate to that? Is that anybody else have one that popped out at you that you were like, oh, that irritates me the most?
Accountability.
Accountability. Good. So that should be in your top 5. Do you get that? Now,
Right.
this
I
is not
do
meant to
now.
be a 10-minute activity. Like you might have to take a little while to do this, and it's okay. So you can come back to this and revisit it and really, really, really take it like a cage match and go down each one that you've got in your top 10 and be like, well, which one do I feel is more valuable to me? And don't forget that your values can change over time as you've been in the business a little longer or anything else. So, and what I want you to think about is does my personal brand that I reflect on my social media reflect my top 5 values?
Oh, I like
Anybody
that.
finding any that you can know that you're not reflecting that at all?
Confidence.
Confidence. Esther, were you going to say something?
No, no, I'm good.
It popped up like you were talking. So.
Well, I guess I'm just kind of thinking, how do I know what my social media is portraying?
Look at it as though you're looking like a stranger. So go in and look through and scroll through what it is and be like, if this was a character in a book, what would I describe her as?
Okay. Okay.
What would
get
I
that.
see in this character? You know what? And that's the only way you can do it is really just to look at it as though you are a customer who's just coming to your social media for the very first time.
Okay.
Like, think about this, and this is the one thing that makes me crazy is that, yes, okay, we aren't stealing customers from anyone else, right? We're not in competition with anyone else, but we also don't own our customers. And they're allowed to go get a different relationship with different people that fit their core values or ethics or their ideas better. They are, right? We don't own them. You don't own your consultants and you don't own your customers. And so I want you to think about, why would a customer come to me? Not me, you. Like, think about it for yourself. Why would a customer come to me? What is it that's my brand?
I think mine is being genuine. Like not trying to be somebody else.
I love that. And you said authenticity first too, right? So that's obviously huge.
Yep.
And so then going through, you know, when you're going through your Facebook and your social media, to think about, okay, so if authenticity is super, super important to me, and yet I'm not showing my genuine nature because I'm copying posts or because I'm not sharing my vulnerability, I'm not sharing when I'm not perfect, then are you really valuing authenticity or showing that you value it? Now, being authentic does not necessarily mean bring everyone down every time you're having a bad day, because authentic means also good stuff too, right? Because sometimes people say that, right? If you're cheerful, it must be fake. It's not necessarily fake.
Well,
So go ahead, sorry.
I was also going to say joy is one of my top ones too. But joy is different from being happy.
Yes, joy is different from being happy. And so what brings you joy? And so now I want to lead that into, when you're looking at your top 5 and you're looking at the reasons why you work your business, they should be meshed. So if you have, for example, being the best, ambition, financial stability on here, hope and independence, and you're like, no, I don't really care about being the top of the unit, who do you think you're fooling? Because don't you agree the person we lie to the most in the whole world is yourself?
For sure.
Right? Or if those aren't in your top and you're like only working on the top things and you have to be a star consultant, you have to be the top star consultant, ask yourself, either I don't understand my own values, or like I'm not sure on my own stuff, or I don't want to admit that that's important to me because it might be, or I'm working for somebody else's stuff. And if it never feels authentic to you, it never feels good enough, it never feels right, that's why. Because you're working from a place of misalignment. So my values, I have a lot, right? But then the ones I narrowed it down to was authenticity is my number one. Would you say that that's fair, that that's something I definitely project?
Yes.
Right? It's the number one thing that people either criticize me for or compliment me for, right? Family. And when I say family, I mean my family of consultants too. My Mary Kay family is very important to me, and I don't just mean my own team. That's why I do so much for other teams. Right? Because family, that's my family. And making a difference. That's fair, right?
Mhm.
And wealth, which is not the same as money. Right? Wealth and humor. Those are my 5. Now, those of you who know me, would you say that my values are in alignment with what you see on social media and how I portray myself in life?
Yes.
That's how you
Yep.
know
Yep.
that it's true. But here's the deal. When this whole COVID thing happened, and all of my top director friends are like running, and all of a sudden they booked 70,000 parties and they're doing all this stuff and they're doing all the things. And I'm like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing all these things. I went back to my core values. By running around doing all the things, not that I'm criticizing that because their values are different, but by running around doing all the things, am I honoring the value of family? Am I honoring the value of authenticity if I'm being fake and copying something everybody else is doing and not honoring the way I'm feeling right now? Am I honoring my future generations by not being strategic about how I want to proceed in this time period? Am I building wealth, or am I panicking just to make some money? Because those are different. And that's where you're really just looking at how am I building my brand? And then how am I responding to things like goals or things like a starter kit that's $24? Am I just signing up everybody and their dog because ambition is important to me? Great. Am I being strategic about how I'm going to sign people up? Am I looking at, can I build my future team right now? Because future generations are important to me, because that's the making a difference, right? So when I looked at it like, okay, Carol, you're not done your quota sharing yet. Like, what the hell's the matter with you, Carol? Because you're always done by Christmas and you're not done and you don't know what's wrong with you. Well, first of all, that's not in alignment with my values either. But we all know those inside voices. And my inside voice said, just go get 24 people and finish your quota sharing. But guess what? It didn't happen. I wasn't excited about that. What can I get excited about with the $24 kit is how many women can use an extra $200 right now because I can make a difference in their lives. Right? If I'm going to be authentic about it, am I going to say, well, yeah, for sure, you're going to make $1 million doing a $24 starter kit and you never have to build a business outside of online? No, because that would be a lie. One of my consultants said to me on the call the other night that I told her 2 years ago that she couldn't build a business online. And I was like, you can't. She goes, but you just said you could. And I said, no, I said, you can maintain a business online. You can continue the relationships you have previously built online. You can create new relationships if you need to online, but it will never replace face-to-face, and it will never replace the business that we have. So if you're thinking strategically for wealth, then you're going to look at, okay, well, what am I doing now that's going to give me wealth later? And of course, but don't discount the other things on your values list. Right? Because like knowledge is important to me. So I take this time to learn. But it's not more important to me than family and my Mary Kay family. And so checking in on their identity right now and checking in on how they're feeling was more important to me than just pushing people to hustle. And so to be perfectly candid, in 2015, when I was running for top director, I was not in alignment with my values. My social media pages were filled with hustle, hustle, hustle. There's no time for Netflix. There's no time for anything. You can do everything at the same time. You don't need to be making excuses about your life. Self-discipline, 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 which again is one of my values, but it's not more important than my value of being authentic and my value of self-identity and my value of my family. And then what ended up happening is that I sort of created this culture within my unit and my team and my directors that they were not enough if they were not running at the same speed as I was all the time. And that it was not sustainable. And so now I look more at wealth, right? I want wealth and I still want to be a national sales director and I still want to be a top director, but that's because those top directors are my family. And that's in alignment with that. Taking a look at what matters to you, take a look at your social media these days and make sure that what matters to you is reflected there. So if you're getting in an argument with somebody about whether or not they should stay inside, check yourself. If you value that people need to know the right thing, if you value that the rules are the rules, then cool, keep doing it. But if your value is more about harmony and then you're doing that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to feel disjointed and you won't know why. You're going to feel super drained and you won't know why. You're just going to feel like crying all the time because you are constantly not in alignment with who you are. The other thing that you can do is I want you to create a manifesto. And I don't mean this in a like dictatorship kind of way. So I'm just going to pull up the leadership manifesto here. I had it saved, but I'm going to pull this in. There we go.
While you're doing that, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was just processing what you were saying because you'd mentioned about us. We picked about 20, then we go through and we pick our top 5.
Yeah.
And I noticed that my top 5 don't have anything to do with making money. But in my top 20, there is. So like, are you saying when we're doing what's important to us that might not be top 5, make sure you're still doing your top 5?
No, yeah, your top 5 are more important than whatever is in the rest of your 20. And really, I mean, you might not know your top 5 right now. It takes like, Brene Brown's always like, don't do this quickly. And now I'm making you do it quickly. So don't worry about doing it super fast. You might want to take some time to pray about it, reflect on it, meditate on it, whatever, and really get to what it is. But think about this. If I'm living my business authentically, if I'm working with my family, my Mary Kay family, right? And I am really invested in the wealth of the future generations, then am I not going to still make money? Right? If you are really working within those values and you know that that's in reflection to your business and your leadership skills, then you're still going to make money.
Right.
And
So
so
if we're doing
financial
the work,
stability is really important to me. You know this. But
Yep.
not more important than being authentic, which means I would never lie to somebody about what they can get from this business.
right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So
I have
when
a
you're
question
looking,
too.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, no, sorry.
When like you're going through it, can you like group some of them together? Like knowledge and learning are super important, but like to me, they're the same thing.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm saying is like group some things together. Same as like future generations was one of mine, and legacy, and what else? Making a difference.
Okay.
So I grouped those together.
Okay.
Why isn't this opening? Why do you hate me? Not you. I think it's like saving 1,000 times and not opening here, or it's opening in a different tab and I'm just not seeing it. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. It's probably just saved in my downloads 72 times and I just can't see it.
It's on the right. We can see it, or I can
You
see
can
it.
see it. Okay, there you go. Perfect. I just can't see it because my screen's in the way, but I don't know why it's not opening the whole thing. Maybe it will now. Come on. Oh, you want to. I know you do. Now it's gone. Where the heck did it go? Hang on. Sorry, guys. I'm going to minimize you here for a second. Here it is. Now it's going to open it. Okay. So this is what a leadership manifesto looks like. Now, this is a leadership one you can start with here. But I want you to think about writing your own. So make a list of phrases that you say all the time. Like if I had to write a manifesto for my father, it would say, use your resources and I don't give a tiny rat's ass. And both of those phrases would be very important to my dad. So think about that. Like, what are the things you really truly believe? Mine has on it, parenting doesn't have to be hard. And so all the time, I look at it like parenting isn't hard. So we want to take risks, embrace your vulnerabilities, be courageous. All of this is great. This is on my fridge all the time and in my office. I can't make this expand. Okay. But this is how you're going to lead people, because leading is important to this book, right? You're going to engage, show, learn with us, beside us, and show up beside you, just like I'm doing right now. A good leader says, this is how I'm vulnerable, this is how I learned, and this is how you can learn. And this is what I'm asking of you. Don't just think of yourselves as consultants, but think of yourselves as leaders. You are leaders. You're leaders of your family, you're leaders of your community. A lot of you are leaders in your church, you're leaders in your office, you're leaders in lots of different places. Be leaders in your work too, in your Mary Kay work. And make sure that you're in alignment with that, because that is how you create your brand. So when you have your top 5 values, I encourage you to get a little sticker and stick it on your laptop or on the back of your phone or somewhere where you're posting things. And before you post, before any time you post, ask yourself if it's in alignment with your top 5 values. If it isn't, check yourself. And that's how you develop a brand. Think about why would somebody come to me? They don't buy Mary Kay, they buy you. So if you're struggling with referrals, there's a reason. If you're struggling with bookings when it's not COVID, there's a reason. You don't know who you are, so then why should anybody else? Why would people come to me? Why should they come to me over anyone else? And I don't mean me, you know that, right? I don't mean me. So if you had to line all of us up and a consultant had to pick you, or a customer had to pick you, what kind of customer would pick you? Because it goes the other way too, right? You're not trying to be somebody for somebody else. You're looking for the people that mesh with your brand. I'm not going to sell very well to women who are over 65. I don't relate to them. It's not that it's not in my core values or anything, but I don't relate. Just the same as I can't really relate to somebody who's 19. So I know my brand. And when I had young kids, it was the yoga pants moms. All the Lululemon mamas. That was my jam. And now it's in that 40 to 50 plus, right? And I'm moving into that, but it's people who come to me, value my authenticity. They value that I'm not going to tell them the wrong thing, that I'm going to be true to them. Am I always the best at customer service? Nope. Do I forget orders? Yup. Do they care? Nope. And that's who I want. And so when it doesn't mesh, and believe me, it doesn't mesh. Has anybody ever gone through your PCP to go put the people through and you're like, who the hell is this? Because she hasn't bought from you in like 5 years to 10 years. And you're like, or one time I went to the mailbox and found my catalog right on top of the garbage. And I was like, oh, awesome. But guess what? That has nothing to do with me. I mean, it might, but whatever. But that's not the person that meshes with my values and who I am. So that's what you're doing, is all you're doing is trying to attract those kinds of people. Think about it. You can't go trout fishing and catch pickerel. So you have to use the right bait to catch what you want. So you want to be really clear about what it is that's your target demographic, what it is that's your brand. This is a lot to talk about in 30 minutes. But it's just something extra to think about, especially right now. Okay? So I hope that's helpful to you. Send me your lists. Oh shoot, I have to do the draw. I'm rushing because I'm also supposed to be on a call now, on another team's call right now. So that's why I'm being all rushy. Does anyone have a pen? There's no pen.
Wait a minute, you have another team?
I don't have another team. I have my friend Brittany's team in Georgia, and I'm guest starring on her Zoom call tonight too. Because again, I value my family, right? So they're all part of my family too. Scott has no pens in his nightstand.
Here.
Somebody write down the names here for me. Are you trying to hand me one?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Somebody do the draw for me.
I'm
Esther.
writing down names for you if you want.
Who's doing it? Sorry.
Adele is.
Adele. Okay, sorry. I just heard the voice, but I can't see who's talking. Thank you. And is Marilyn on? Because Marilyn, I owe you a prize, but I need your address. Can you send it to me?
Oh, speaking of prizes, look what I got, people.
Did you get the Post-it? Yay! Finally.
Isn't this adorable from Carol?
Little kitty Post-it holder thing.
So cute.
I like to send presents.
And listen, it's weighted with like beads.
Oh, cool. So it doesn't fly off the desk every time you grab a Post-it.
Yeah.
I
See?
love that.
Okay, I have 13 names. Do you have the 13 people who are on?
Yes.
Okay. So pick a number between 1 and 13.
7. Is she more efficient than I am? The efficiency's probably on her list. I love it. Okay, go ahead. What?
Patricia?
Patricia! Patricia, make sure you message me. Yay! Message me your address, okay?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
All right, send me your 5. I'm so excited to see your values. And I'm going to be snooping your Facebook for these.
Yikes.
Okay.
Thank you, Carol.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Carol.